I met a gypsy.
Ultimately, too, you know, that's being that high caliber and thinking you're the shit. That's not what's cool. What's cool is being that dude and being humble about it. That's the next level of coolness. That's what's really cool, right?
Yeah.
What about Reed? Because I feel like Reed went through a phase of kind of being...
He went through that.
Kind of a little bit of a dick.
Yeah.
And Reed's been really like, cool the last few years, though. Like, really cool. But I definitely, like... I didn't say 2 words to the guy my whole pro career because it just seemed like he wasn't nice.
Yeah, I think that...
Maybe I could have been reading that wrong.
No, I mean, dude, I didn't talk to Chad until I did the podcast with him. Like we weren't cool. Like I had like a super weird attitude towards him. Part of that was me as well. Like we spoke about it on the podcast that a part of that was like I wanted to be cool with him just because I was like, hey, I'm Aussie, you're here killing it. I'm doing my best. Like surely we'll fucking get along. And then there was just like nothing. I think that there's like a few things with Chad that probably went on like it was a different time. There's a lot more money. There's a lot of people trying to get at him constantly. Social media wasn't really a thing, so you didn't really have like a voice in your own way the way that riders do now. And the media was still more of the media. Like nowadays, I mean, it's like for the better. If you get on and talk shit or like the media talks shit about you, then like you just get on your Instagram. All these riders have fucking more followers than like the media anyway. So you can get out and you can be yourself and you can say what you want to say. I think in the era of like in Chad's defense, you know, that era, you didn't have that opportunity. Like you got the interview with the Racer X or the TV, and then they're like propositioning you to say certain things anyway. So it's not like you're really getting to say what you want to say because you're only getting asked questions from a certain angle. So I think like there probably was a bit of that with Chad. I think Chad had a bit of a that whole tall poppy thing that I spoke about. I think Chad resented that a little bit from Australia. And then, you know, dude, it was huge. Like anyone over here would be like, fucking Chad lost his accent, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, that was like, I think that was like the big thing with the Aussie public. They were just like, fuck you, dude. Like, you don't even talk like us anymore. So I think that was probably like, yeah.
Has
so I don't know.
I
feel
like,
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like, I mean, he started coming to the
that.
races a lot more here. Started, you know, and he got his own social media and you could see who he actually is and he got to say, you know, the things that he wanted to say. And I think that probably was an element too of like when your career winds down, you start to realize
your
like,
ego starts to fade away a little bit, especially with the kids.
Yeah. And it's like you kind of start to feel like, oh fuck, if I'm not a good dude, I kind of don't have anything. Like I don't have championships. I don't have, and it's not to say Chad wasn't a good dude, but it's just like he didn't let people in to know that he was a good dude, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I texted him, I don't know, a couple months ago, expecting to never get a response. I asked him to do a school, and he responded right away and said, "Yeah." So just we'll have to make that happen. But I was surprised. I was like, he'll never respond. Sure enough, he did.
Honestly,
he said, "Hey AJ," and like was super nice. So I was like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah, honestly, he's a fucking awesome dude. Like he's such an. I'm lucky that I've got to hang out with him as much as I have. You know, post doing that podcast, and yeah, I'm a huge. I'm not like a fan, but like I'm a huge advocate of Chad being a really good dude. Because I think he's got a bad rap over time, and I was one of those dudes that thought that shit about him.
Yeah, he's a legend. Every time I hear that AC/DC song, for the rest of my life, I will think of Chad Reed.
Will be Chad's opening ceremonies.
Oh yeah, man, that like, yeah, legendary.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.